Good day, Bashar.
Good day, good day.
I'm here in Encinitas, California, and I have a question. I love everything that you just shared. I feel like the gas pedal has been pushed down pretty accelerated for me lately, and I give a lot of reverence and appreciation to you for the formula. It's been the most influential teaching thus far that has really accelerated my life in such a beautiful way. So I just want to honor you and appreciate all of the beautiful experiences that I feel like you've contributed to my life. So I thank you so much.
All right. Well, we thank you and our deep appreciation for being willing to apply the information to your life.
Yes. And so I mentioned I'm from Encinitas because people have said there's a vortex here. And I'm just curious if you have any feedback or thoughts on that.
There are many vortices everywhere, both great and small, major, minor vortices. There are vortices over the entire structure of your planet because that's how it works energetically. These act as nodal points for the transmission of or the flow of different kinds of energy that take on different qualities depending upon the area. And people gravitate to these areas in particular because of the kind of frequency that exists within those particular nodal points that aid and assist them specifically in their own journeys in life. In the area that you are mentioning, there is a kind of a quickening energy there. Things can go much more rapidly in that area in general than they may in other areas when people need to have a slower experience. They will usually not go to the area that you have named, where if they desire a much more fluid or quicker, more accelerated experience or alignment with themselves, they will usually gravitate to areas such as you have named, of which there are many around the world, but what you have named is one.
Yeah, that's what, and also just the monologue about the gas pedal and the valve. I'd love to talk a little bit more about that because the formula, there's been such amazing synchronicity, but the quickening, the acceleration, the valve feels like it's open more than it ever has been. And I'm having some pretty slippery experiences in my consciousness. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm drawn to this area. And one of which my highest excitement has been with my coaching clients to go on these trips. And it's been pretty consistent. This just started happening where I've been consistently experiencing simultaneous realities for myself and one other person, but now I've been able to create that experience in small groups of coaching groups.
All right. Congratulations.
I'm curious. Go ahead.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. So I'm curious about the mechanics of that because one aspect I feel it's like the spontaneity where the energy is just fitting, and I know I know when I'm in that flow, I know what I need to know in the moment. I'll say what I need to say to specific people in specific ways that tend to help, I guess, match energy, if you will. That's what it feels like. But I'm experiencing some pretty interesting things. Not only being able to create scenarios where they're able to experience simultaneous realities undeniably within the group. So the whole group is experiencing it, but also time shifts. So we had an experience in Baja where we went through what we perceived as a time change of 2 hours when there really wasn't one. So I want to hear a little bit more about the mechanics of that.
All right. Well, again, do remember that time is a side effect of your consciousness shifting through parallel realities, as we have said. Therefore, when you expand your consciousness and become more aware of more of who you are that already exists on some level in other realities, then those barriers drop, they fade because they're artificially imposed to begin with anyway. It's just a matter of being on a frequency that by definition includes more awareness of more of the realities that you're already connected to, because every single reality is here and now. Since time and space are illusions, it's all accessible from here, from now, from the moment, from the present. Therefore, the more you expand, the more aware you become of the more that's in the now. Does that make sense?
It does. It feels the presence when I'm extremely present. Not only am I aware of more realities and more awareness of everything, I'm aware of how I'm creating my past and my now, et cetera, et cetera. My past changes quite often.
Yes, because they're all here. You don't go anywhere. The mechanics of it is that because everything exists here and now all at once, All you have to do is change your frequency to one that is more representative of an expanded awareness to be aware of more of what's already here. You're not going anywhere. You're not, shall we say, literally diving into or projecting into or penetrating into another reality that's somewhere else. Yes, it's usually separated by differences in frequencies, but those frequencies all exist within your consciousness. So when you start dissolving the differences, in a sense, to some degree between one reality idea and another reality idea, you can start experiencing more than one reality idea simultaneously when your consciousness is capable of handling that.
I love that you said that because it does feel like it's dissolving. It actually literally almost, it's my senses feel that it is a dissolving of somewhat feel. I don't know if it's barriers or if it's just illusions, but
it's the same thing. That's the same thing. Barriers are illusions. That's what we're saying. There is only one thing in existence, and therefore anything that you consider to be a different thing is an illusion and is created by the artificial barriers, which is differences in frequencies that are created within your consciousness in order to have a certain experience where you feel that it is necessary to experience differences within the one homogeneous thing. So barriers are illusions.
Yeah, I got that. Thank you. And so more about the fun of it, it's just been such a fluid, extremely, it's just been amazing. It's such a fun, exhilarating experience. And my question to you is the spontaneity. So it feels like I'm fitting the energy, but it's kind of part of me, what level I'm creating it from. I understand that the higher mind is the mirror that's reflecting. But the physical mind is sometimes, a little bit tricky in that I can feel the physical mind wanting to label or explain. And so that's becoming less and less.
All right. Well, that's fine. Again, the idea is you get to determine what labels need to remain for your own purposes and what labels you can let go of. It's up to you to determine how it works for you. So there's no right or wrong way in that particular process. Go with your flow and see what works. Keep whatever labels work and let go of whatever labels you no longer need.
Thank you, Bashar. So the last part of this segment I want to discuss is the whale. So my highest excitement has always been my connection and my excitement with dolphins and whales, and recently with the gray whales and the humpbacks specifically. Yes. And then out of that, we came across a hybrid of a fin and a blue whale in Laredo. And that was quite interesting because he made himself very visible to us, over 80 sightings in a very short amount of time. I wanted to see if you had anything to say about that.
The hybrids are coming closer.
Yeah.
You will see more examples. You will see more examples in your reality of things that are hybridized to indicate the changes going on. They will start more deeply within your collective consciousness or perhaps your collective unconsciousness, thus representative of the whale, which represents a larger consciousness, showing you more clearly that more hybridization is happening in the non-physical realm, which then translates into the deeper collective unconscious of your people before it also starts trickling down, as you say, into the collective subconscious and the collective consciousness of your people to start recognizing that hybridization is part and parcel of the evolution of humanity on the earth.
I love how you just tied that into the unconscious and subconscious. And then we did have an experience recently with an entity in the physical. I've asked before because I've had an experience as well. And it feels potentially like a Yael. I wanted to get maybe your validation, not that I need it, but it's always fun to hear.
I cannot give you validation of that at this time.
Okay, Bashar, I love you so much. Thank you. I appreciate
Our unconditional love to you as well. Good day.
Good day.
Hello, Bashar. So I've been wondering about, I know how we switch Earths billions of times per second, right? I was wondering how this affects us in our sleep. Does sleep affect the Earth that we wake up in? Do we wake up in the same Earth that we went to sleep in? Does what we do in our sleep, our consciousness, the dreams that we have affect which Earth we wake up in any way? That's it. Thank you.
Yes, you never wake up in the same reality. Since you're shifting billions of times a second, even while you're awake, you're never in the same reality. And sleep allows you to do several different things, because when you're out of body, you can go to the template level of the physical reality and make different kinds of choices and changes within relevance to the theme you chose to explore. And you can do things in a slightly different way, but you are never in the same reality. But yes, sleep can affect the reality you wake up in. Not that you are not always in a new reality, but it can be a slightly different reality than you might otherwise have woken up in had you remained awake.
Hello, Bashar. I hope
Good
you
day.
have a wonderful day.
Of course, always.
This is my first time meeting you, so I'm very excited.
All right. So are we.
So one of the questions I have is, children, when they're young, often tend to see beings when when it's nighttime and they are supposed to go to bed and sleep,
Yeah.
and the lights are out, and
Yes.
is there an ability that children have to see things that are like in a different dimension or reality or something?
Yes, because they haven't unlearned that yet, because they're not fully focused yet on the idea of physical reality as the only thing that they should pay attention to. Children are still newly from spirit and still retain the ability to see into other dimensions. It's natural for most children. So the idea is that many children on your planet will learn to stop doing that, although now in this day and age, they don't have to really learn that. They don't have to focus quite so strongly on the idea that there is only physical reality. They can still experience the themes they chose to explore as physical beings without necessarily losing the ability to perceive beings from other dimensions. So this is something that is new for your society in general on a large scale. People on your planet have always had this ability from time to time, but it used to be rare. Now it's becoming more common. But yes, in general, children on your planet are still closer to spirit than they are to physical reality, and for quite some time may still retain the ability to see into other dimensions until, for some reason, if there is a reason for them to focus only on their physical theme, then they may close that facility down for a while. And then it may return later in life when they are through exploring certain things. But yes, it's a natural ability that most children have.
And is there a way to facilitate the coming back of this ability?
Yes, to follow the formula that we have shared with all of you.
Okay. Okay.
Now, there are also many other techniques. Basically, you can attract through synchronicity whatever technique may work for you. Whatever permission slip will be best aligned for your vibration. But in general, those things will also arrive in your life if you do, in fact, follow the formula. It happens automatically.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
At some point, I was laying in my bed and seeing a dark pattern on the ceiling, and I was a kid back then, and I was kind of fearing for my life because I didn't know what it was, but I was like almost paralyzed, and then I said, no, not now, and please leave, but I didn't know what it was, and this happened twice to me when I was a kid, but I still have no idea what it meant or what
It's a portal to another reality and a beginning of a visitation of extra-dimensional or extraterrestrial beings coming in to interact with you according to the agreements that you have made in this life to be part of those kinds of encounters and experiences. So what you were initially experiencing was the opening of a portal from one dimension to another.
Okay. And is there something I can do to maybe get back to that point? So now that I know I don't have to be afraid about it.
Don't be afraid. And again, follow the formula. Be more open to investigating and researching the encounters that exist between extra-dimensional and human people on your planet. Educate yourself to know that you're part of a bigger program, a bigger agenda for the evolution of the Earth, for the evolution of humanity. Invite it in and feel love for the experience. Most importantly, allow yourself to fill yourself with love and create the invitation on your own terms, saying that it can be what works for you and what works for others, but always in a state of unconditional love and service.
Okay, I'll try that.
All right.
Okay, when I was in school, I had dreams. That was like the first years of school, so I did not lose the stuff apparently until then. So when I was in school, I had dreams at night where I saw things that would happen a day or two later.
Yes.
And I actually made a game out of this because when I went into like a conversation with people and I knew what they would say, I just changed my reply and see what would happen. And this was funny for me.
Yes. Well, again, everything exists now. All realities exist now. What you call past, present, and future are all here. And there are multiple versions of everything. So if you have expanded your consciousness, again, especially when you are younger, and made a game out of it, which is a positive thing to do, then it can help practice and train you to be able to perceive more realities that exist in the here and now moment. And thus you can perhaps perceive more clearly the probabilities of which reality will manifest or crystallize in your particular physical world experience. So that's not unusual. It's just that you're becoming more aware that every reality, every probable reality that is most likely to manifest is already known to you, is already here and already exists. It's just a matter of which way you choose to go and how strongly you choose to crystallize the realities that you're perceiving.
Okay. And I guess...
Did that make sense to you? Do you understand what we're saying?
Yes.
All right.
I guess getting back to that is also following the formula.
Everything is contained in following the formula as precisely as possible. It leaves absolutely nothing important or relevant out of your life. It will bring you what you need exactly when you need it.
Okay. All right. I was in October 2011, I was in a group that did C5 protocols for contacting extraterrestrials.
Yes.
And we had some contact with, we saw ships flying around, and we had high strangeness events or things that happened that were strange.
All right. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. And when we did a meditation for contacting extraterrestrials, it was like a vision in my head that I had from it was a woman, and she looked more like a cat being, a feline woman. And she looked at me, and it was like just a second or so, and she said, "Be patient." And that's all I got from this. And then I started to think and woke up from the meditation.
All right. Well, that's good. That's a good first start. Coming through the extra-dimensional consciousness is coming through an archetypal form, an ancient Egyptian form that connects to something that will work for you. The ancient Egyptian archetypal form, looking feline, is called Bastet or Bast, the ancient Egyptian goddess. So this is an archetypal form that the extra-dimensional being was using that has relevance for the vibration of your own being. And initiating a contact and telling you to not be impatient, basically, is a good first step. Things will unfold as they need to.
Okay.
You can do the meditation again anytime you wish. You can begin practicing, strengthening that contact.
Okay.
It's up to you.
Is there a specific, I guess it would be
whatever works for you, or replicate what you did before.
Okay. 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 So when sometimes I hear stories about people getting abducted.
Yes.
And What I was wondering is, when they talk about it, the first contact or initial contact is a bit scary for them.
Yes, because they don't understand what's going on because they haven't been told that these kinds of things are happening by an agreement you made before this life. This is part of the evolutionary path of humanity on the earth. And because most people aren't in touch with those agreements, then they will go into fear mode or survival mode because what is being experienced is very foreign to them. And to the physical consciousness almost seems life-threatening because it's so different, so alien to your normal physical reality on earth. There is nothing to be afraid of, but nevertheless, the physical mind may still react that way by going into survival mode because interacting with another dimension changes your frequency, and to the physical mind that almost feels like a death. Even though it is a type of death, it is not literally physical death. But the physical mind may interpret it as such and kind of go into a little bit of a panic.
Okay.
But you can get used to it, and this is what we talked about earlier. Open up in the idea of love. Express the idea, as you have already done, that you want it to be on your own terms in a comfortable way, and that you are willing to participate and be more aware of what's going on if more awareness is allowed on their part. So approach it that way and things can smooth out. Does that help?
Yes. Thank you.
Then I will wish you pleasant dreams.
Thank you.
Good day.